Hi guys, it's Christina. I just wanted to put a little disclaimer before the episode. The sound quality is not great. It's the first time we recorded on two different devices, so there's a lot of echoing, and I tried to fix it, and I just made it worse. So I just put the raw audio out there, raw video. There are very, very few edits to this. I didn't want to alter any perspectives or anything like that. So this was a very difficult episode to record. We couldn't repeat it, so it is what it is, and we have taken you through so many aspects of our lives already so far, and we just felt there's nothing more to do than to be open and honest about the end of our relationship as well. So, as this is a dating podcast, breakups are part of dating. So with that, here is episode 12, The Breakup. Are you ready? Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
You want to do anything weird for me to edit into the beginning like I usually do? I'm just kidding. This is a serious episode. Of course. Okay.
It's serious, but...
It's serious, but still us. So,
yeah.
I get it.
It's therapy in a bottle.
I don't know if I like my light. Hang on.
One day we're either going to laugh, we're going to look back at this and laugh, or we're going to look back at this and like, what the fuck are we doing?
I don't know. I think it's good. Who knows? We're experimenting now.
It's going to take, like, I don't want you to think, like, it's going to take time for me, too.
But why if you're out? Like, if you're done, like, why would it take you time? Wouldn't you already have, like, processed that?
I have, but I haven't. Like, I know what needed to be done, but it still doesn't mean I'm not going to miss what we had.
That's fair. Okay.
And it's hard because I'm a nice guy and I don't want to be an asshole.
Yeah.
I think, like, I had to rip the Band-Aid off because, I don't know. I mean, like, in reality, okay, let's say I would have just, like, whatever, I just kept it inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we would have, like, Saturday night would have gone, met the kids, and then it would have festered, and I would have been more and more. And I think that's what I was worried about.
I think it's just, like, we didn't try to fix it. We didn't try to see each other more and stuff like that to see if it made it better. That's what sucks for me.
But it was...
But if you're...
It was since I was, like... It was, like, right before I was sick.
I know, and we have not spent a lot of time.
Right.
In that amount of time. And I feel like maybe spending... Because, like, right now, you like being with me, right?
Yeah.
Like spending time with me.
But
and
I like it, like, in, like a fun way, not, like... You know what I'm saying? Like a...
No, I don't.
Like... a fun way, like hanging out, not like a not romantic, but like a relationship type. I don't know. I just never.
What's the difference? Like between, because like we have the fun part, but then we also have like the conversations where we can talk to each other, and then like our physical relationship is great. So that's where
I just never felt like, I don't know. I never felt like it. Like, one of the things that bothered me was, like, what you said, like, you were way more into me than I was into you.
You said that, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, and it hadn't changed. Like, it didn't get any better. It just kind of stayed. And I don't know, I feel like the more you're with them, you know, like, my whole thing is, like, am I excited to see you? And in the beginning I was. And towards the end, it was just like, it's not like I didn't want you to come here, but I wasn't like excited, like, oh, I can't wait to get home to see her, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks.
It sucks. No, it sucks. Trust me.
All right, I'll start the podcast and we can.
I mean, you rub me, you fuck me, you feed me, like, what else do I need? It's a Costanza. It's not you, it's me.
It is a little. We'll get into this. Yeah. Okay.
And
all right. Well, you can tell that.
I'm gonna come off as such an asshole. Let's do this. I'm the heel. NWO. For life.
Oh my God. Okay. Welcome to the No Dick Pics Podcast. I'm Christina.
I'm Max.
We weren't planning on doing an episode this week. We were going to take the week off, but a lot happened this week.
Emotional baggage.
It was a roller coaster of a week. Anyway, we have... I don't even know how to start this.
You want me to take it?
Yeah.
So, we broke up, and it was difficult. It was my doing, and it's been kind of festering for probably the last month or two for me.
Month or two?
Well, when I got sick, it was kind of like...
That was just a month ago.
That was a month ago. Okay. So I kind of been going through some shit, and kind of contemplating stuff, thinking about stuff, and the thing that I hate about it is my walls have gone up, and I always push the agenda like I'm Mr. Communication, I'm Mr. Communication, I'm Mr. Communication, and I shut down, and now I shut down again, and I don't know kind of what I'm doing, but I had a long talk with my therapist, and I realized I like what we have, but it's just it's just like there was something missing. It was for me. There was something missing, and I don't want to settle. Not that I think I was settling, but
Well, you told me you were settling.
yeah, I felt like something was missing, and when something's missing, it bothered me. And it was hard to do. My therapist kept telling me, you got to rip the Band-Aid off. You got to, because at first we were talking about maybe taking a break, but I think taking a break wouldn't have fixed anything.
No, I didn't want that. I was going to agree to that anyway.
And I mean, it was hard for me. It was hard. I'm not good at delivering bad news. I don't consider myself like an asshole that I can just kind of say stuff. Some people might think I am an asshole, but it was just something that had to be done, and I didn't want it to keep going because I kept telling myself, oh no, it'll get better, it'll get better, it'll get better, and it never got better for me.
We never talked about it either, though, right?
Yeah, and that's where my walls went up, but yeah. I just something's missing for me.
Yeah.
And we talked about the comment I made that I feel like you're more into me than I'm into you,
which feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something you want to hear.
No.
But I mean, it's also I'm being honest.
You are.
And
it was news to me, honestly. I knew that I had said I love you a few months in, which is early for some people, but I am who I am. That was actually slow for me. So you hadn't said it, and I had appreciated that. I was like, you're only going to say it if you mean it, and it feels like you just couldn't get there, which is fair. That's fair, and I appreciate that you didn't say it just to say it. But I didn't know that we were at such different levels, overall. I thought, because when we're together, I'm like, this dude's into me. I don't know. I would leave her being like, he's crazy about me. So that's why I was like, I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Makes sense.
That was news.
Yeah. And I told you also, I think I also have kind of a fear of commitment. I do. I admit it. I don't know if it's going to change. Sometimes, I feel that I'm happier being alone than being with somebody. Not that I would rather be alone than kind of be with you, but
you would, right?
I feel like at times, I don't know. I think it's, I didn't date a lot in high school and college, and then I kind of did a little bit, and then I met my, future wife, and we dated for 4 years and got married, and then when that marriage fell apart, I started dating, and this is the most this is the most dating I've ever done, and you find yourself, and it's an excuse, but I think one of the relationships where I got my heart ripped out, that was kind of the only time I ever wanted a commitment, and the fact that she stomped in my heart, I feel like that's something in the back of my mind, ever since then, I've wanted nothing to do with commitment. You know,
Yeah.
I would always say like I don't like labels.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it was tough for me just because I liked what we had, but I felt like it wasn't getting any better. It was just kind of like there.
Yeah. I was waiting for summer because, like, you had said, and you've admitted this since then, when we first started talking, you talked about all this effort, and you're like, I like to plan this and this and this and whatever. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I've never had effort before from like anyone. Like, I don't want to say anyone because, like, my husband did put forth effort to like plan trips and do things and so stuff to make me feel special. I mean, in like the dating world, no one has ever done anything to like go the extra mile with me. And I was like, wow, that's like what I want. And then it didn't happen. And so I'm like, well, you're really stressed out because of school and all this stuff. I'm like, maybe like Summer Max is gonna like show up for me. And so it's just kind of like being patient and waiting for you to give me more. And I'm like, I know he's capable. I'm just gonna wait it out and it'll be there. And so I was missing something too. I just thought it was coming. I thought I could just be patient and it would show up and you would show up for me more. Because there were times like you did start to pull away and you did start to like, I don't know, not text me good morning, which is dumb, but still like things like that, like little things like you started
No, no,
dropping
I
my
saw
phone,
it.
you didn't call me, you didn't like you went from like can I call you at lunch? You wanted to talk to me all the time and then you didn't and I'm like what is happening? And so I asked you and you like wouldn't talk to me about it. And so that's what's kind of annoying about this because you are so big on communication. You held back on stuff like that I think we could have worked on and that we didn't. Because we're like people who hear this, people who whatever, like they know like we have really good chemistry together. We're really good together. And like you said this even when we were breaking up, like we're good together. We're good friends. We're good. Like every part of our relationship is good. I mean, you're missing something, which sucks, but like it almost like doesn't make sense. Like when we were having that, had like a. I came over on Thursday after we broke up, and we sat here for hours and talked. And you were like, "This is so stupid because it's just so healthy. It's so good. It's so like we are so good together that it's just like this, it doesn't make sense." And so I'm still trying to wrap my head around that because I don't have this connection with anyone else, and it does suck. And we do get along really well. And like every part of our relationship, besides whatever it is that's missing for you, has been really good. Like for the most part, when you're not Wally, your communication's pretty good. And
I
like,
haven't seen Wally, or you just mean Walls. Yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
funny.
no, but like when you do communicate with me, it's good, and we have good conversations, and we're honest with each other, and that's like this whole thing. We have been super honest with each other, and that's why you're like this is like the healthiest. Like I did, well, you weren't expecting that reaction from me, so you can say more about that.
No, I mean it's very justified. My walls go up, and I even noticed. I noticed probably like the last couple months, like I'm about the texting and the calling, and the effort thing is funny because and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but like every relationship, I used to put like a lot of effort in the beginning, like
Hmm.
kind of a little overboard, just to kind of like win them. And I don't know if my mind was like, this time I'm just gonna not like do as much. And I think as soon as we met, like I kind of in my mind, I knew like you were into me, and so I kind of just didn't put forth any effort, which is really stupid. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's like,
Hmm.
but I mean, that's what you do. You look back and you like a lot of this doesn't make sense. And I just kept telling myself, oh no, this is like I'm in a rut. Things are gonna get better. Things are gonna get better, and they just didn't. And then I started feeling, and then like every little aspect that happened, I would take that and be like, and use it kind of against you. And I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want this to, I don't know, like we go on throughout the whole summer, and then I don't know. I felt scared. I didn't want to disappoint you,
Yeah.
and I didn't want like we were at a point where I think it was. I mean, I don't know how to say this. I wanted to kind of pull back, and I felt like the more I went forward, it was going to be worse and worse, right? So if I do it now rather than like August,
Well, yeah, no, I want you to,
yeah,
when you're feeling like you're done, it's just like, I just see people go through all this shit where they have,
it's okay.
I see people like argue and fight and like make up and all this stuff. And like, we never did that. We never had a fight. And the first like conflict we have, it's like, all right, bye. We're done. Like, I just don't even want to try. And it's like, how do these super toxic relationships that go up and down, how do they stay together? And we're so good. And we have like, I mean, it's obviously if you don't want to be with me, that's a issue. But like, it just feels like, I don't know. It happens to me every time. I didn't fight with the other guys I dated either. They just were like, bye. Like, I don't like you anymore. Bye. I mean, and you said this too. They all come back. And so it's like, I don't know. It's just a vicious circle for me. So I'm going into my next thing very differently because I put so much effort into this, like so much more than I have with anyone else, because I just felt so comfortable with you and I felt such a connection with you. And I was like, I don't know why I did it because I don't always do it, but I was like, I wanted you to like fall for me. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go all in. And I do the things that I do typically anyway because I'm just who I am. But like, I was like, wanted you to fall for me. So I was just like, how do I get this to happen? And I wanted it so bad. And it's that thing, like we talked about it when we were doing the Nick Vial facts or whatever. Like, you should focus on if you, which I do like you, but like you should focus on if you like that person rather than trying to make them like you. And so that's something I'm gonna do going forward instead of being like, I want him to fall for me. I need to focus on how I feel about you, which, to be fair, is still strong. So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't, I wish it was as simple to explain. And I told you this. It's like I don't want you to come away with this. Like, what didn't I do? Like, you did everything.
Oh, I know.
You did everything you
I'm
did,
fucking awesome. I know.
and it was healthy and stuff. It's just there was just something lingering that I can't. It just didn't feel like it felt like I don't know, something's missing. Like I thought I was gonna get more and more into you, and it just kind of like stayed the same. I know.
That sucks to
Like
hear.
I told my therapist like I wanted to fall in love with you, but I mean, it just, sometimes like, they talk about or it's timing or certain things. It just, I don't know. I mean, I still think I'm damaged from when I got hurt because I'd never been dumped before because I never let myself be dumped. And when I got my heart ripped out, and it took me a while to get over her, and I finally got over her, but it like comes in waves, like little, like, I was cold turkey, and then I think, and that's why I asked my therapist, like, am I not over her? Like, am I like, is it because I had no closure? But I just think it was just one of those things that it had to happen to me, and that's when I really started to. That's when I actually, when I started going to this therapist, and I learned to love myself for the first time in a long time, and I loved who I was, and I loved and I did things for myself, and that's where the whole alone thing is, where I just like sometimes I just like being alone
Yeah.
more than being with somebody, and that sucks, and it really scares me because it's like if I have this healthy relationship in front of me and I can't make this work, like how, like I may be alone the rest of my life, and that's, I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is. I mean, it sucks, but I just, I'm not gonna do something that I'm just not something just doesn't feel right.
No, I get it. Like,
And it's like I said, it's nothing you've done. Like you've gone above and beyond every expectation, and I appreciate everything you've done. Like, and it's I'm gonna pull it out. My favorite Seinfeld quote, right? It's a George Costanza. It's
I
not
hate
you, it's
this so
me.
much.
But it is. It's not you. It is me. Like
Mhm.
something's going on with me. Maybe,
I
it,
know.
yeah. I don't know. Is it a commitment issue, a commitment phobia? maybe a lot of just other things are going
No,
on at the same time.
no, I know because like, and you said it too. You said I checked every box. Was that a line or is that
No, no, you did. I
okay?
just and like one of the things that I've talked about, and I feel like, especially with you, so you're freshly out of a divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I look back at when I got divorced, and like between the first and second year, like that second year, I was a completely different person, and I had so many, like, I kind of knew what I wanted outside of it. And I'm not saying that for you,
Mm-hmm.
but like one of the things too is like you grow, once you're separated and you get divorced and then you're kind of doing your own thing. It's just, and you don't think it's a lot. And like my divorce was simple. It was very civil. No fighting at all. We didn't fight about anything. Like I was giving her stuff. I was like, just take those, take these, take these.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't any drama. But my therapist said, but it was still a life changing event,
Yeah.
and it really affected me. And so like how I see myself after like 2 or 3 years divorce and the first year divorce, it's like night and day. Not to say it's like that, but you will grow and you'll find things, because sometimes you're like this vicious circle. I don't think it's a vicious circle. It's just
Same thing keeps happening
you're
to me.
just yeah, but you're gonna learn from it, and you're gonna be like, hey, oh, this is what I need to do, or maybe I need to, like, one of the things was I was always attracted to toxic women, not all women, but like the reason is they come, especially, and it kind of like you coming out of a bad marriage or relationship. When you see a guy that's like has his shit together, it's like, oh, and but you're not toxic compared to
Thank
the
you for
others.
clarifying that.
So, but it was very toxic women, and then once and it's that's what and then we were trying to avoid those toxic women. So there were like little traits, little things that we would have a checklist, and me and my therapist would have, is like, relationship with the family,
Mm-hmm.
if they don't talk to anyone, if there's an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband with like, restraining orders or other stuff, toxic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like, that was my checklist. But like with you, it wasn't. I mean, everything seemed good, and it just didn't. I don't know. It's my gut, like,
No, and you know what you want, and that's
right.
fair. I think it helped me kind of realize what I deserve. Um, I don't know. I feel like, you know what? Because I can hear myself. Can you turn it down on your laptop, like your volume? Does
Yeah.
that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I can hear me.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Well, I can
Yeah.
hear you talking,
I
like,
see
because you're
you.
right
Can you
there.
hear me?
But um, I know what I bring to the table, and I know what I'm worth, and I know what I deserve, and because I have been through some shit, and so, God, um, I know I'm amazing. I know it. I know I was an awesome girlfriend. Like I know this stuff about me. And so I know that I deserve someone who can love me, like scream it from the rooftops, be like all in on me because I deserve that. And there's someone out there who's going to do it.
You do. Yeah.
So it's like, and as there was a point where I was like really wanting, like, I was done. I was so mad after that initial conversation that I was like, I know this is even before Wednesday. This is after our talk on Monday. I was like, I deserve so much more than this. And as much as I love you, I love me more. And so I know that I deserve more.
Yeah. You have to love.
I do. I love me
You
more.
have to. I would always tell people, and it's like this, psychiatrist or a therapist cliche, but you've got to love yourself first, or you're never going to be able to love
Yeah.
anyone else. And I had that. I had that. I had to
And I
love my.
do.
I had to love myself,
Yeah.
and it took some time. And
Oh no.
yeah, you
I've
deserve.
done the work. Like I know. Like I know what I deserve. I know who I am. I cling to things because it's hard. Like this is all really hard because we were really good. And we even still, like, this is a little different. I feel like that conversation on Thursday was a little bit, well, it was a little different because you kept stopping to kiss me. But, like, so there was a little confusion there. But I think I tried to hang on to something, even though I was saying, like, I understand where we're at. I think because it felt like even without the labels, it hadn't changed. I was trying to cling to something that it's not there anymore.
But I even told you when we, broke up and talked about it, like you mean a lot to me still, and like I want to have that friendship. And if will it work? I don't know. I think it can.
Hmm.
I think we can make it work because I mean, I want that. I feel also with this podcast, this is kind of like therapy.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
it's not therapy for us; it's therapy for other people.
Hmm.
Not to put it out there, but you go through and all the episodes are funny. We have these guests on, but then this is like reality. Like sometimes shit just doesn't work out, and it sucks. How do you deal with it? And what did I tell you when we broke up? Oh my God, that was like one of the healthiest breakups.
Hmm.
Like it was so nice to be with another adult. And like everyone's like, oh yeah, but no, it's true. Like you were like the first adult because I had this fear that it was going to get ugly and stuff because that's how it always was. But once we got through the initial, you know, few minutes, couple like 10, 15 minutes, like we realized like this is good.
Yeah.
Like this is what it was so nice to come out of that. And like I went to bed that night and I was happy, but it's like we had like we like it was a healthy breakup, and
Yeah.
it's like I've never had one of those. I didn't know they existed. It was like a myth. It was like the leprechaun at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah, I mean, we're still going through it, so
You Lucky Charms.
there have
it's
been
like
like moments where I got
no, man,
really
it's
pissed
all,
off
it's
at you,
all.
and
I'm
like,
not gonna lie, like I mean, I also know when I'm giving up, and and it's like, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, am I gonna regret this? And I'm like, well,
probably.
but there's just something was holding me back. It's just like sometimes it's just not meant to be, or I don't know if it's timing, but just sometimes like you're just not meant to be with that person. And
Yeah,
um, I mean, I can't.
I'm feeling better about it, like as we're talking through it. Um, but I think something you did that I don't think we've talked about this yet, that is was brought to my attention by people who love me is a little manipulative, is when you told me your rom-com story about us. So you're breaking up with me. Go ahead and tell your rom-com version of what happens with us as Max and Christina.
What rom com? I don't.
But you had your rom-com version of what would happen with us. Do you not remember
I don't
this?
remember. Is this the
What?
previous podcast or
No. When we were breaking up.
what did I say? I don't.
You don't remember this?
No, this is.
Wow. Okay. For real?
There was a lot. I don't know.
Okay.
Wow.
You go in you're talking about how like, in like your like hopeless romantic head, you're like, what's gonna happen is we break up. Whatever. It is what it is like right now. And then I'm gonna meet someone and I'm gonna fall for them. And that's when you're gonna realize.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Do you want to finish it?
I didn't know it was like a rom com thing. I was just
No.
saying. No. I mean, that's what I was afraid of. I mean, but like maybe like it changes. But I feel like it's also guys are all a lot of guys are like this. They want like something they can't have. So like someone's in front of you and it's fine. It's fine. You're like, yeah, I can. I'm gonna try something else. And then when she's gone, and then when she's with someone else, then that's when the guy feels, oh, I want her back. I don't know if that's going to happen with me, but that's what I mean. I mentioned that, like,
Yeah.
knowing.
So that created a little bit of false hope. That it's
Yeah,
like
that was my bad. I
that
probably
you were
should've
like
known, yeah.
I think I'm gonna fall for you. It's just not gonna happen today. I have to see you with someone else first. And that's a little like
Yeah, I probably.
that.
I don't think I meant it that way. I just thought like maybe when I step back and but I'm willing to step back because like it's something that I'm just not feeling.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you get with someone else, it probably will hurt it a little bit, but I'll know like, but it was it was meant to be just because I'm just not feeling the same way, and it's just like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and I'm not gonna lie to you about it. I mean, I tried to be as honest as I think I could.
Hmm.
I probably should have done a few things better, and I admit that. But in the moment, you're not sure, and
Well, I mean, I think it was the obviously healthiest breakup I've ever been through because I didn't leave with questions. I did after though. You want to talk about that? About what you felt bad about? You texted me about when I was having a great night.
I'm
About Hinge.
huh?
Hinge.
Oh yeah. So
Mhm.
I kind of did a little shitty thing. So on Friday, there was like I was at my daughter's recital, and there was like a break or whatever, and I wanted to be honest, and so I told her that like on Monday, I unpaused my Hinge account, um, and why I did it, I I I still I don't know why.
Yeah,
I
because we
just
didn't break up until Wednesday.
right. So I think I was already done,
Hmm.
and so I was just like, oh, I don't know, if I go back and be like, why would I do that? I'm not sure.
Well, the reason why that upset me is because when we broke up, you brought up, you're like, you in the moment appeared to not know what you wanted to do. You didn't say, I want to break up. You're like, I don't know. These are the options. We can pause, we can break up, we can take a step back, whatever. And I wasn't going to do anything but break up because I'm not taking a step back. I'm not
Right,
pausing. I'm not doing that. So I'm not going to sit here and wait for you to figure out your shit. Like I'm just going to sit here and just like, you know, hope that you fall for me at some point. So, none of those other options were an option for me. But at that point, it didn't appear like you knew what you wanted to do. So if you had already made your mind up, then why have options? You know what I mean?
yeah. No, like I said, that's kind of shitty on me. And like I said, I don't know. I just and I like I wanted to tell you because I just felt bad.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be kind of lingering. I felt bad.
I think it was to make yourself feel better because you felt guilty about it, but I don't know that I needed to know.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Because
yeah.
like nothing came of it. It's not like
No,
you
no,
cheated
it
on
was
me or
yeah.
anything. Like it's, it is what it is now. But I was so I don't think I've never been mad at you, which is weird that it's been 5 months and I haven't been mad at you yet. I was so mad at you, like, and it just like built up. So like in the moment I'm like, whatever. And then I'm like, you broke up with me because you're not ready for a relationship. Like, is that still correct or is it
Yeah, I broke up with you because I'm not ready for a relationship, and I wasn't. Something was.
right? So why would you join Hinge? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
Like,
know. I also think like I also kind of like maybe wanted to see what else was out there
mhm,
because I've always asked my therapist because I feel like I love the chase, like the
mhm.
beginning stages to getting to know people, but and maybe that was just my mind saying like I've had enough. I kind of want to see what else is out there,
Yeah.
but I don't know. And it was a shitty thing. I'll tell you, I admit it. It was a shitty thing. I should have just been like, honest. And I think I've always had this fear of like letting people down or hurting people. I've never wanted to do it. And it's
That
tough.
did.
No,
So,
I know. And it's tough for me. It's like, that's why I've always been bad with breakups and stuff. And it's just like one breakup, I texted her and it just drove her crazy. And she called me and just yelling and swearing at me. And I'm like, yeah, it's justified, but
yeah, if you had broken up with me over text,
no, I know.
it wouldn't just
Yeah,
be me, be like all our listeners would have
yeah.
come after you and been
No,
like, what the
I
fuck?
wanted to call you after my therapy session. I wanted to call you, and I said I was going to call you.
Yeah.
That was one of the toughest things I've ever had to do. So
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
yeah. I don't know.
I'm a lot to
Like
lose,
yeah,
and I know it.
I have. I mean, I don't know. I just there's a lot of stuff going in. I mean, going on with me, but I just at the end of the day, like it just I don't know, it just wasn't for me. But again, we had such a good like chemistry. Like I felt like I didn't want to lose you as a friend, and I know that's such a just like cliche that people want to do, but I didn't. And I also said like I want to like have a good friendship, or see if we can make it work. And even this podcast, like I'm like this podcast is like therapy,
Hmm.
you know, and it's fun to do, and I think it's something that we can still do.
I agree.
And
Like,
now we can kind of like kind of almost the agenda could be like, okay, how do we grow from this? Where and it's still the difference, right? I'm like I've been divorced 4 years. You're just newly divorced, back into the dating field, and how we kind of interact with you know, the dating battlefield.
yeah, I don't know that I want to hear about people you're dating right away. I think it's
Not
going to
even
take me a
dating,
minute,
but just how we're going about
If you have a disaster happen, I would love to hear that. But if it's like happy stuff, I don't know that I want to hear that for like a minute. And I know that you're more comfortable with that, which are you really? Like with me talking about stuff?
Yeah, I would be comfortable with it.
Because I'll be upfront. Like I don't know that I want to this probably scare this dude off, but like I joined apps when you told me that you had unpaused Hinge. I was like, go fuck yourself. So I'm like, fine.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna take a 3-month break, and I'm like, fuck this break. I'm not jumping in. And so I started doing Facebook dating, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna turn this down. Oh, 'cause it's up high. Okay. I was at my friend Scott's house, and I started filling it out because I deleted everything except I did get really. I'll take blame for this. I got really mad at you because you're like, I unpaused Hinge. I'm like, you just paused it. Like we were in a relationship. Like we were like, 5 months. I'm like, what do you mean you just paused it? I went to go reinstall mine. I had just paused mine too.
Yeah.
So
No, because you pause it,
and then delete it.
you delete it off your phone, but it's
Okay.
still paused. So then the thing is, because I mean, regardless of any relationship, I was convinced, I'm going to go back. So instead of filling out all that bullshit again, you
You
just
thought you might
unpause
go
it.
back.
Right.
You weren't like she's the well. Obviously, if you thought I was the one,
yeah.
we'd still be together. Like, no, I was like, I deleted everything, but I didn't because I didn't. That's how you delete it is you just pause it or whatever. I don't know if you can delete it. Maybe you can. I don't know. Someone can probably fill me in on that. But when I
You
went
can
to,
delete it, but you pause it, and then it's whenever you get back. So when
Mhm.
we started dating, I don't know, maybe like a month in or two, I think I paused it,
Mhm.
and then I just took it off like my phone, so I didn't have it, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Not-
So the next day, I'm like, this is unhealthy. I'm not going to join apps. I'm like, no, fuck this. I'm joining apps.
Fuck this guy.
So I had 2 days, which is better than 12 hours, like I did with Christmas Guy. Um, I took 2 days. I jumped back on. My friend Jared, who's hopefully we can get him on as a guest at some point, he's like, I thought you were taking a break. And I'm like, I lied. So I am going in this with um, a different frame of mind because I don't think I need to jump into something serious right away because I'm not over this. It's going to take me a minute to get over this. Um, so I am just like trying to have fun at this point and like,
But I think that's what, like, have fun and date, but just
yeah,
don't don't think ahead. And I know it's tough. And
yeah,
I used to say, like, take it a day at a time. Just like,
I know that used to drive me crazy, but I said, what did I say? I'm like, I'm doing this max style. I'm gonna take it one day
yeah,
at a time.
just take it a day at a time. And like, if you're not, like I said, we've talked about like in the past where you were dating quite a bit of people and just kind of going through the motions. But
Mhm.
pick a couple and just date them and see where it goes. And maybe that's what you want. I like because my therapist used to tell me like after my last relationship, she's like, I just want you to date. Don't worry about the future. Just go like date,
Yeah.
see what's out there. And I sometimes feel that's what I just need to do too.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know. I know it's gonna come off so bad with this, but I just I'm like kind of all over the map sometimes. But I
Clearly.
no, it is. And like I just want to see what else is out there and kind of
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah.
But I mean, I I typically, because this has happened to me more than once now, I will jump right back on apps because my ego has been bruised. And there's all these guys who are like, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful, oh, you're so pretty, you're so just like constant, like all this shit. And I'm like, okay, thanks. I feel better.
No
You
one ever
know?
calls me pretty.
No.
No.
Yeah. I
Don't
said
feel bad. I
I said
wasn't
you're
getting
cute.
bombarded. So
I said, oh, I'm getting messages right now. I need to get rid of that one though. Um, so I was the Bachelorette like 4 times. I'm not doing that this time. I don't have the bandwidth to deal with that many people. Um, so I am just like it's been one day talking to someone, which this is funny. Should I tell everyone about this guy?
go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm only talking to him. I haven't talked to him on the phone, haven't gone on a date. Talking about a date, we haven't actually planned one yet. This guy is 6'1". How tall are you?
6'1".
Yeah. He has a beard. He has tattoos. He's a lot more though. Yeah. And
Oh, I told you. I thought this weekend I'm gonna get a sleeve. Now I just have to think of the design.
you should talk to
I hope my mom's not listening because she's still gonna yell at me for getting tattoos. But and what field is he in?
he is a warehouse supervisor.
All right, I'm a supply chain
Oh,
manager, but
but
same thing. Yeah,
yeah.
supply chain means warehouse.
Yeah.
And we won't give out the location, but
No, he lives, I'll say it. He lives in Palatine. So you're neighbors.
yeah.
They're not actually neighbors. But like
So when
um
someone says you have a type, you have a type.
I do. I like what I like.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one guy who messaged me who was like, oh, this is dying. Okay. This one guy messaged me and he was like, "What can I do to get you to go out with me?" And I was like, "You can grow." Because you were too short. I didn't say that to him. Obviously, that's rude. But he was like 5'6". I'm like,
Well, Nikki Glazer has a whole thing about short people.
yeah.
She thinks like,
It's so rude. Like if he's probably a
no,
lovely
but she
person,
thinks
but like no, thank you.
the shorter people are more attractive.
No.
But if you go over 6 feet, and so she has this whole thing. I mean, it was pretty funny because the nickname is the short kings and stuff. So, but
No, I've gotten some lines,
yeah,
so I can start like maybe I'll start putting them on Instagram. Some of the because I get some crazy shit in my inbox, and it's been like a day and 2 days. I don't know, not even that I've been back on apps, and I get the craziest shit.
I know you were sending me some of them, and I was
Yeah, I
laughing.
get like I mean I've gotten more since then. I just didn't want to bombard you, but like I get so many crazy messages.
But is that so? I guess my question is, that's every woman, right? I mean,
I don't
women.
know.
Because I've heard from multiple women that like these apps is just like they don't have the time to go through the stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's
Do you want to
crazy.
see my match? Oh, Susie's checking in. Hi, Susie. I love you. Um, act like this is live. Okay, so I started this fresh, and I deleted oh shit, I deleted a bunch, and I'm back up there. These guys. Look at the name of this first guy who messaged me and his age. I'm not gonna say it out loud because I'm not talking
Oh
about him
my
on the
God.
podcast. It's not him, but I saw that. I'm like, what is this?
Jesus.
But
They are just. So it's got to be like these dating apps. It's got to be like one woman for every 500 guys, right? It's got to be something like
I
that,
don't
right?
know. So I have a lot of messages, and I don't know you're gonna read them.
Love your beautiful eyes. Hello, beautiful. Hello. What makes you happy? Hello, how are you doing? Well, I guess not. Hi,
Oh,
Christina.
that guy messaged me a couple times and I didn't answer. So
Greetings, Queen. Lovely pics. So, yeah, there
yeah,
you go.
you can't really see on Facebook like how many people like you, but I've been pretty popular there too. So and Hinge I've
Yeah.
been doing better than I did the first time. So I don't know what, but like I'm talking to this one guy. What should we call him? He needs a nickname. Oh, should I not give him a nickname? Because what if he like ends up being like good?
No, but give him a nickname because you don't want to put his name
Yeah,
out there.
help me with this.
We'll call him.
This is weird. I'm like, help me with this new boy.
I don't know.
Because I was calling him Palatine, his first name, but we're not gonna say his first name. Softball guy. He's really into softball, like
Is he?
really, really into it.
Is it a 12-inch or 16?
I don't know yet. I'll
Oh,
let you know.
all right. 16 is a big Chicago thing. It's a big ball, and 12 inches like with the mitts and stuff. I used to play. I think it was 12-inch.
I don't
I think,
know.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I probably
Um,
said it wrong. I haven't played it for years.
yeah. So, just talking to this dude, but I have a little bit of a crush, which is nice. It's helping me distract me from you a bit. Um, it's probably a bad idea to jump into this stuff. But I'm not jumping into anything. I made that very clear from the start. I'm like, I'm not like I just broke up with someone like days ago. So It's pretty clear, but I'm like down for having a good time and meeting someone. And I'm just
Yeah.
not doing the bachelorette thing where I have to keep track on a spreadsheet and stuff. I can't handle that. That's too much work. So I'm not doing that this time. Um, I'm talking to a few more people, but I'm not into it. So I'm using you as an excuse, which is nice. I'm like, you know what? I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this.
But I think even on the apps, like you feel a connect, like you're like, well, oh, this, I think this can go somewhere, or no,
Hmm.
no, this is boring, this is boring. That's how I mean, you know, fortunately, I jumped on there, but I didn't really get anything. And then, like, I think Thursday, I started talking with someone, and it's,
Thursday during the day?
huh?
During the day?
I,
Because you were talking to me at night. So,
oh no, I think it was either like, I'm not sure. We
okay.
just started talking, and I wasn't even expecting anything because I was like, hey, I just brought up the podcast.
Hmm.
Like, what's crazy? I have a podcast with my ex girlfriend I just broke up with recently,
Hmm.
and she's like, how do I listen to it? And she listened to it, and actually we've been talking about
She's
like
listening to the whole like all the whole
well, no,
episodes.
she started at the end.
I know, but the whole thing,
Yeah, because she
not
had to
just
take
like
it.
the clips.
No, no, she went for a drive or
Wow.
something. So she's like, oh yeah, I'll listen to it, and then I think she was doing something, and she's been listening to it. Then on like Saturday,
Thank you for listening to us. I don't know
she's
your
like, I
name, but
have to
thank you.
drive. She had to drive somewhere, and she said like, this podcast, like this is good. Like it's funny. You guys are funny. Like usually they put me to sleep, but it's like it's really good. And so I think like our own conversation, we've been talking a lot about us and the podcast and stuff. I mean, it's
Hmm.
nice. It's
She said we had good chemistry, right?
right.
That's fun to hear.
So, but I mean, like I said, I'm like, I know people are gonna be like, oh fuck, he's out there, he's gonna. But I'm like, I'm going ultra slow. I'm like
Hmm.
gonna just like kind of see what's out there and just kind of take it slow and just like one day and not not rushing anything because I really don't want to.
Because part of it felt like, and I don't want to assume this because I know you're not. I don't know. I don't know that I know this for sure. But part of it felt like it's summer. I want to see what else is out there and have fun because I don't want to be like in the serious thing when I could be meeting a new girl every.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, part of me was also saying, it's the summer. Let's just forget women altogether and let's like focus on myself.
Hmm.
But of course, I can't because I'm. I mean,
I
I'm.
know. I'm the same way. So.
Yeah. No, but I
I
mean, like I
can't.
said,
I
like
can't talk. Although
you
I
know,
was gonna take the summer for myself, but I got mad at
yeah,
you, and I was like, "Fine, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna watch this list." I just literally handed you. And it was like, "Look at how many people want me."
yeah,
Um, but again, like I know that I'm a catch. I know that you know this too. You're missing out. Like you are gonna miss me if you don't already. And I'm not asking you, do you miss me? But like
I
literally,
won't get those anymore. I'm not.
no.
Yeah,
You don't get my good morning text. You don't get any of that. Do you miss any of that?
no.
No.
I know. I miss some of the interaction, but I don't miss like. And I hate to say this, but like at the end of it, I feel like you always would say like I'm a lot, and you
Hmm.
weren't a lot to me in the beginning, but like this last month, there was a lot. It was a lot, like every day.
Well, and a lot of it was because I felt you pulling away, and my
And and
instincts
and
were
and you have every right to,
right.
yeah.
My instincts were making like my anxiety was like he's losing interest, and then I'm like, no, 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 I'm being crazy, I'm being crazy, but I was right. Like my instincts were
Yeah.
right. So like that's just a lesson to listen to yourself. I was right. See, I'm. Did you know you've known that Christina's always right? Like that should be a sticker too. I'm literally always right, especially when I like have a gut feeling about it. And I had a gut feeling, and I was fucking right because I
I
always
had a
I always
feeling,
am.
woo-hoo, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. No, I get it. And um, and like I told you, on this podcast, I'm probably gonna come off as a bad guy, and that's fine,
I don't. You're not the bad. Like there's
right?
not a. It's not a competition.
No,
You
I
know.
know. I mean, and a lot of people are gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Dude, what are you doing?" But I'm just like,
What did your coworker say? Didn't you tell a coworker? that you're gonna break
Yeah,
up
yeah.
with?
And they were surprised, like, oh, you guys seem. I'm like, yeah, it just wasn't.
And say you
I,
were dumb.
I just, I'm not gonna, I can't explain it, but it's just like there's just something's missing,
Yeah.
and I kept kind of putting it off and putting it off, and then this has nothing to do with it, but it kind of reminded me of the end of my marriage where I wish I would have spoke up a couple of years earlier,
Hmm.
and because we knew something was going on. Not that we were having issues, but I just like I don't know. I wasn't we always kind of said. I told you like when I got sick, I feel like that's when the relationship hit the wall,
Hmm.
and I told you about the story that I wanted to bring up was when I was sick.
Here,
I
pause that for a second because I'm
All right.
about to die. I need to plug this in. I don't want it to cut off while
Yeah,
you're talking.
drink more wine. Oh, your friends are gonna hate me. That's all
No, they're
right.
not.
So the story I was getting at. So in my mind, when I got sick with shingles, and it's funny because my therapist thought maybe it was the anxiety over the relationship that kind of spurned it, which I never thought of it. But shingles does do with anxiety and
Gave
stuff,
you shingles?
huh?
I gave you shingles?
No, no, my anxiety and my stress over the relationship. But after once I got sick, I felt like the relationship hit a wall. I don't know, it was just me. But one of the things I kind of talk about is when I was sick, and I told you like when I'm sick, I just like to be left alone,
Hmm.
blah blah. Blah. And like you're like, oh no, I want to come over, I want to take care of you. And I'm like, no. And first of all, I have shingles, so like my eyes almost swollen, and I feel like
Yeah.
someone just beat the living shit out of me. And I'm like, no, no, I just want to be left alone, left alone. You kind of just like, oh no, let me take care, let me, and I just like, eventually I was like, fine, like you can come over, but that was kind of like, I don't know, that kind of frustrated me. It's like I just want to be left alone and sleep and take my pills so I can. Because the problem is with the shingles, I was having these nasty headaches and I was not sleeping. I was even trying edibles and it wasn't working.
Hmm.
And so I just like wanted like just some sleep and stuff. And I appreciate everything. You wanted to come over and take care of me. That's sweet.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
wanted to
good
help with the
thing.
dog and stuff because I was
Yeah.
like, you got this brand new dog and you're having issues with that.
Right, right.
And
It's not that like it
but I
was like
also thought we were in a different place than we actually were.
right.
So
And it was just kind of frustrating. I was like, man, I just want to be left alone. And
that's
so,
valid.
but no, I mean, again, like I said, that was nothing that you did wrong. I should have come forward and been like, no, I'm gonna stay home by myself. That's where this part of me that I wish sometimes I would just grow a set and be like, no, this is what I want. I do it at work. I don't know why I don't do it in my life.
Well, and that's because a lot of that was because of the issues with Christmas Guy, which honestly, this isn't helping that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Christmas Guy got sick. He got COVID, got super sick. Like, he was out for like a week. And then he backed off and lost interest and broke up with me very suddenly. It was not like this. It was not, there was no conversation for 4 days. Like, he dumped me over text, which was fucked up. And then he didn't talk to me for 4 days. And so, like, it was that was extremely painful, not because he was the love of my life or anything, because he's not. It was because I had so many unanswered questions. And that's why I think this has been better because, like, I don't have unanswered questions. Like, we talked about everything. We had a really good conversation. It was so good, in fact, that you were like, at one point, you're like, doesn't make sense because we're communicating so well, and
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. Like, people are going to be surprised by this because we do have great chemistry and we do are really healthy and talk, and like other aspects of a relationship are really good.
Oh yeah, the response I got this weekend, I told certain so like I said, I won't say her name, but me and my ex-wife are very similar. I mean, we have a good friend, like we're friends.
Hmm.
We have a good relationship. Our families still get together, and I told her, and she was like, "Wait, what? You guys just like posted?" I was
I
like,
deleted that, by the
"Well,
way.
yeah." It's like you guys just posted a relationship and stuff. I'm like, "Well, that was her. I mean,
I mean, we talked about it, but
I
yeah,
know, no, no, I know,
yeah.
I know." And then, but what the funny part was, is I told my kids, and they were just like, I'm like, but we're still friends. And my daughter was so excited that we were still friends. She's like, can we still meet her? And I'm like, yeah, eventually when we get to a point. But she was excited that we were still friends,
Yeah.
even though she hadn't met, so which and I talked to, I saw a couple people, I was like, yeah, and they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, I know, yeah, but it was just, it was kind of like people were just like
Yeah,
surprised.
I was a really good girlfriend. So like,
No, it was
you
like I
know,
said, I said it's nothing you did.
no, I know.
It was nothing you did.
I know.
It's a lot of it is on me, and just sometimes, you can't. I guess you can't force something that's just not there,
That's true. And I don't
and
want
it
that. And
sucks.
I
And I
don't
don't want
deserve
that.
that.
Yeah,
I deserve
yeah,
someone who's all in on me
you do.
and who and it's confusing with us sometimes. And like I think it's a little bit clearer now, but after that whole like rom-com thing, it was a little bit confusing because like I was like, okay, we're just waiting for it to happen. And I mean, it still might. It's probably gonna happen when I mean, long checked out because that's how it works. But I don't know.
Yeah, but I tend not to. So I know you always talk about, oh, they always come back, but I
Well,
tend
you're still gonna be in my life, so it's a little bit different
right,
too.
but I tend to like once it's over, it's over. I've never had the ability to like, oh, I want to be friends with them
Hmm.
because usually people use that line just so they can sleep with them. But
Hmm. Yeah, which is
but I
not
truly want
happening.
to be like I mean I think we have a good rapport. Like
Yeah.
and I think like we can help each other with like I mean at first it'll be weird, but like you were sending me screenshots of guys and like what do you think of this? What do you think?
Well, I'm not like, do you think he's cute? I'm like the funny shit they were saying to me. These are
Right.
people I swiped left on. Like I was not interested in any of these people. It was just like funny things.
But I mean I would hope sometime you would be like, hey, what do you think
Hmm. I did ask you today about I let people down because I used you as an excuse. So I was like, oh, I just ended it, got out of a relationship and I thought I was ready to get up back on apps, but I'm not. I'm, I mean, I'm probably not, but like, that's not why I'm ending this
yeah.
conversation. It's because I don't want to talk to you
I would
anymore.
love for you to find someone. I mean,
Yeah,
and that would be awesome.
maybe I
And
did.
yeah,
Who knows?
but I wanted to continue our friendship because I think we have. I mean, we're just good together,
Hmm.
and I think we could have fun. And this podcast, I wanted to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Um,
I had questions about that. People were like, what are you guys going to do? I'm like, well, I don't know. If we can't do it,
right,
I feel like it's because I do it. So like,
right.
I don't know. But
But
hopefully it's not an
I don't
issue.
think it's and I like I said, I just think it's like sometimes this stuff doesn't like work out the way it's supposed to,
Yeah.
and I think people will see this and be like, holy shit, what happened? But like, look at how they're still talking and they're able to like move on with their lives, but still
Hmm.
like I think there are like before this relationship, there was no such thing as healthy breakups. Like I thought it was an oxymoron,
Yeah.
big word, but
Wow.
um, I could have gone with palindrome, but because that's the one that's backwards. Dad, mom,
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
race car.
Yeah.
But anyway, I never believed in healthy breakups. I never thought that was a thing,
Hmm.
and now it's like, oh my god. So I think healthy breakups are. I think the reason why we had a healthy breakup was we I finally communicated again, but I also think like when you have just a clear mind and you realize, and like you said, you realize like, listen, I thought this guy was all this, but I deserve better. I deserve
Hmm.
more, and I agree with that too. And it's and
Yeah. Like part of the things that like were causing you anxiety was because I felt you pulling away, so I was having anxiety about it. And like you don't get like that when you're in a secure relationship. When you feel like this person's all in on me, this person cares about me, and I honestly, for a majority of our relationship, I didn't know where you stood, and that's probably not the best.
and obviously
Yeah.
I didn't know where I stood.
Yeah.
So
And that's why I had the anxiety because I didn't know. And like, I'm like, I should know how my boyfriend feels about me. Like, I should know. And I remember saying this to someone. I'm like, my boyfriend should be obsessed with me. Like, I'm great. Like, why wouldn't you be? And that sounds very conceited, but I am. Like, I know what I bring to the table. I know I'm an amazing girlfriend. I know I'm, I give my all to someone. When I give them my heart, I really give it. And I try not to get teary eyed. I'm tough. I'm a bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch. I like love hard. And I do this every single time where I go in and I'm like, here's my heart. Here, just take it. And like, there's no walls. You're very protective of yours. I'm like, here, catch. Like, have fun. I hope you don't break it.
But it's also because you're freshly out of.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's my
No, it is like
personality.
everyone does that. Like I'll tell you, my first real like dating relationship, I was still separated,
Hmm.
and I was kind of into her, and it was good, it was good, it was good, and then she kind of pulled back, and so then I was like, screw it, and so I went a couple days without talking to her, and I got over her, and then so I'll talk about it. So actually, we spent Valentine's Day together right before COVID, and I ended up actually getting COVID from her before COVID was a thing. She was going to Spain for 2 weeks, so a couple days before Spain, she just cut ties with me. So like, man, fuck this. So it took me a couple days to get over her, but I was over her. Blah blah blah, whatever. I moved on. I was just doing my own thing, and also she would say, "I want you to date someone else when I'm gone. Don't worry about me."
Hmm.
Which I wasn't gonna take that to heart, but it ended up being like I did end up finding someone else. But then all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 days into her Spain trip, she calls me when I'm on my way to work. Oh, wow, I'm surprised to hear from you. And she confessed, like, I'm really falling for you. And my reaction was like, and she was pissed at my reaction because I was like, well, I don't know. I mean, you didn't talk from me for like 2 or 3 days.
Hmm.
So that was like my first relationship. Then I was dating someone else, and I dated her, and then it was the same thing. I just was like, it just kind of fizzled out. But that's the thing. It's like I think when you're like the first year, you're just kind of find your footing, and you're kind of going, and that's what you're doing. You're putting your heart out there because you don't know anything else, and that's what I've noticed. And so I don't know if that's because of it, but I would say with your next relationship, maybe like pump the brakes and just be like go. It's not about going slow; it's just going at a pace that you're comfortable with. You know,
I think my problem is because like I don't know anything but a serious relationship, that I don't know how to do like something more casual, and I'm learning
date.
with
Yeah, it's
with
just date.
each
You go
each
out,
time.
you
Like,
date.
yeah.
I
So
think for me, I enjoy dating. I think when then the dating turns to something else, that's when I get freaked out, and it's like whoa,
yeah,
and I don't know why.
yeah,
There might
sucks.
yeah.
Sucks that you realize that with me. Um, but I I will take some like responsibility in that I was always looking for the next step with us. I'm like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? So like we didn't have labels for a while, and then eventually I'm like, I'm sick of saying the guy I'm seeing because it had been months. And so you're like, oh, I don't care. You can call me your boyfriend. I'm like, okay, well, that's a step I wanted to take. And I could have just chilled out and been cool there. And I wasn't. I was like, okay, what's next? And like, I was jumping to like, what's the next step? What's the next level? Like, what's the next like place we can be before we become like you know, where something I can feel safe in, which I felt safe, but like where I could be like, I'm good. I'm not gonna get dumped. I'm in a safe place. And I kept like waiting for that like next step to where I felt like more secure, more like committed, more whatever, so I could just feel safe again. Because I had that for 25 years where I felt safe, and I'm the one who broke that. But like I didn't know anything different other than feeling like I know this person's gonna be there no matter what. And so not having that is it's hard and it sucks and
I
it's
remember
scary.
a comment that stuck with me too. Is I remember you were talking about like because you come over and you cook and stuff, and you're like, I don't know how to be a girlfriend, but I know how to be a wife,
Yeah.
and I like that's big too. It's like no, you could just be a girlfriend. You can just
Mhm. I think I mean, I like to cook, so that's a good
Oh no no,
different
I
thing,
mean
but like,
what guy's gonna say no?
yeah.
I mean you could I told you
Man,
you could
you
have made
had
a
it made.
I told what did I tell you? You could have made a peanut butter jelly
Right.
sandwich. I'd be fine.
You had it good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What was that? The one? Yeah, you made some good
I
dishes.
did. Yeah. You had it made, and if you had not been so self-aware, we could have just been one of those people, those couples. And how many people do you think are out there who like because like I feel like because you've been to therapy and because you're self-aware that you know how you're feeling, you know something's off, but like had you not had those skills, we would still be together and we would have kept staying together and it would have how many couples out there do you think are like that where like they shouldn't be together but they are? I think there's probably a lot.
Yeah,
And so
there, I don't know. I don't know if the I don't know.
You
That's
sad we're not on a couch? Are you uncomfortable?
no. No. I've been sitting all weekend because of the recital because I'm on my feet constantly, so I'm not used to like sitting like long periods of time anymore. I don't know if the therapy. I mean, I felt like something was missing. I had a relationship early on before I had therapy,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew something was missing, and I did the same thing.
This exact same thing?
No, I mean it wasn't. It was just it was about a month or two, and I just felt like I was kind of I wasn't feeling it. Something was missing, so I know that feeling. Now it could be. I mean, obviously there's something with me. Maybe it's like my fear of commitment or my fear of getting serious, or I don't know. And I'm trying to find that, but and some people are like just like sometimes you just even though you think you met the right one, maybe it's just not meant to be, which is scary.
Yeah.
But it's like
Well,
but
and I think that's where it caused some confusion for me in the breakup was like you kept telling me like you're like the most beautiful girl I've ever seen and like I'm so attracted to you and we have this great connection, this great friendship. I'm like, isn't that a relationship? Like what's missing? You know? Like that's hard to hear. And it's
right,
hard because like the way you look at me, even still, like you're struggling sometimes. I think right in this conversation you're doing better, but when I first came over, like you didn't know how to feel.
right. Because I've been going through a lot of stuff this weekend, and it's like it's tough. It's because I feel I never I have that fear like I don't want to let people down.
Yeah.
I don't want people like, and it's funny because my daughter is the same way. It's like she wants everyone to love her or to like her, and I'm like, hey, yeah, that's my daughter because I was the same way. I wanted everyone to like me. I wanted everyone, to feel, and I hate having that. I don't want to be the bad guy,
Yeah.
and I hate, and that's what I was afraid
Not
of.
even just that, but like when you look at me, what do you want to do? Be honest.
Like when I look at you,
Yeah.
I probably, yeah, I want to kiss you.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where it's like I don't think that that happens with just everyone. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
maybe I don't know. Maybe you do want to kiss everyone, but like
But even get past like the sensual and the sexual stuff, it's like there's still be that just like something I don't know, and that's what I have to deal with, right?
yeah.
It's gonna be, people are gonna be like, oh, it's your loss, but I set the table. This is how I feel, and it's just like I'm animate. I just didn't want it to keep going on because I felt like I was almost like not living a lie, but I wasn't being completely honest.
No, and that's fair.
Yeah, and I feel bad for that. Like I just need to say what's on my mind and just like if I hurt someone's feelings, I hurt someone's feelings. Just come out and say what needs to be said, and like I said, I'm growing from that. It's been you know I don't know how long I've been divorced. I think it's going on like 5 years, isn't it? Yeah. Let's see, yeah. And
Yeah.
the negative anniversary is it's I think did it pass? What's today's date?
June 16th.
Oh, it's coming. All right,
Okay.
the 20th.
Oh,
June 20th it'll be -5. People are like, what? Yes, I text my ex-wife, happy negative anniversary.
yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
So
I think
I
it's
did
funny.
pass
Maybe
it,
she
but
doesn't. I don't know, but she hasn't said anything. So,
yeah.
yeah.
This is your chance to say something if you're listening. Be like, I hate that.
And the girl that broke my heart, I knew you want to talk about sign. I knew it was a bad sign. She had the same birthday as my ex-wife. That should have been a sign right
Do
there.
you remember what you said about her during our breakup? You had like an aha moment. You're like, oh my God, I'm doing to you what
Oh
she did
yeah,
to me.
yeah, exactly.
Except you didn't cheat on me.
Right. I didn't. So
Yeah.
the only difference was, I think I was a lot for her, and she got kind of freaked out. And so instead of talking to me, she just went out and slept with someone, and then it was easier because that was her MO. She
Mhm.
told me that's how she got out of relationships. She just slept with someone else, and it was funny.
That's the person you wanted a commitment with, but not me. That's cool.
Yeah. And then what happened? Like
Like
about a what was it?
loyal.
What was it? Like a week ago, she popped up on my Facebook. People,
Mhm.
you should know.
You
And I'm
might
like,
know.
delete this shit.
Yeah.
Delete that.
Yeah.
Get it out of here.
Well, that's and I think that's something different with me for you at least, right? Like you still want me in your life.
Right. I mean, and I think that's, we talk. I think it's healthy. Like, and I don't,
Is it?
not to be the sad guy, but like I don't have a lot of friends out here. A lot of my friends are in other states. They've moved out, and then like my one friend's in Oswego, which is like we call it Iowa. So there's not a whole
I own
lot.
a
So
home there.
I
It's
don't have a lot of friends nearby. Like my best friend is North Carolina. Everyone else is Indiana, West Coast, East Coast, and I don't really have a lot of people I can like talk to. And I feel like we have that.
yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be we're gonna have our bumps in the road.
yeah.
It's gonna be weird, and
I've gotten mad at you the first time.
yeah,
That's
there you
new.
go.
And you're like, well, she's pissed. Like you said, you
Yeah,
texted me, you're like, I can feel it. I'm like, yeah, it's
yeah.
real. Like I was mad.
So
That's the first time. How did that feel? That was your first time experiencing mad Christina, and that wasn't even full. You
yeah,
didn't even experience the full
no, probably not.
fury of Christina because I was holding back. But that's maturity. Therapy helps. But I was pissed. I was like, that's fucked up. Because I'm like, you broke up with me because you don't want a relationship. So why are you seeking a relationship? And it's almost like, and then you say how like you like the chase and stuff. I'm like, you're just like wasting these people's time then, because that would piss me off. I would be like, okay, cool.
I don't think I'm wasting people's time. I'm just kind
If
of
you know you don't want a relationship and they
right.
do, then you're wasting their
But
time.
what happens, like, and that's it. Like, what happens if one of these times, like, it just hits? Like,
Yeah.
it just hits, and it's like this is the one I want to be with. Not that I don't but
Hmm.
that's what. See, you talk about I think you talk about like the you have the Disney
Disney
mind.
brain. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of have that too. It's like I still feel like you know I'm gonna meet the one that just clicks. It's just like I have the butterflies from the very moment, like and maybe I don't, and maybe it's just a delusional, and I just go hit the peace pipe and call it a day. But I just want to say peace pipe.
So a very good friend of mine um has told me because he's seen me through all of this stuff. And he goes, Christina, you have a Disney brain. And I'm like, what the fuck is a Disney brain? He's like, everything's a fairy tale. You don't see the reality of things. You see what could be. You see the potential. You see the Disney happily ever after. And I do. And I kind of like part of me loves that about myself because I am very optimistic and I do go into things wholeheartedly and I don't have like what you see is what you get with me. Like, do you think that's true?
Yeah,
Like, I put it all out there. Like, this is me, you know? And
but you would always tell me like I know I'm a lot. I know I'm a lot.
I do know.
You know.
And that's why I thought it was bananas that you didn't think so because, like, people who love me very much are like, Christina, you're a fucking lot. And they still love me. They still want me in their lives, but they're like, you're a lot. Like, chill the fuck out. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Well,
whatever.
you have the Disney, and I kind of have like mine is like the rom com, like the
Yeah,
I always think of like
it's the same thing.
what's the movie with John Cusack and with the gloves, and it's like Central Park.
Serendipity?
Yeah, because we would
Oh,
go to
fuck.
my ex-wife. We would always go to all the different Serendipities. So we went to the one in New
Yeah.
York City, went to the one in Vegas.
That
Actually, the one
is
in New York City
one
is
of the
great. We
oh,
sat next to
my heart.
there was a table, and there was at that time it wasn't big. It was a transvestite. So it was a guy dressed as a woman, right? And you can
Mhm.
tell. And I found out he was a Vietnam vet. So my dad and him are talking
Mhm.
about where they were stationed. And I'm like, what? This is awesome. Yeah, the hot chocolate or the cold, the frozen hot chocolate they have and all that. Yeah,
It was in One Fine Day too. Have you seen One Fine Day?
I don't think so.
With this is sad because this is about I promised I wouldn't talk about my ex and my marriage and stuff, but that was like our first movie we watched together. We rented it on VHS in the 90s.
One fine day.
One
What's
Fine Day as Michelle Pfeiffer and um like
that's Tom Hanks, right?
not
No.
Tom Hanks. Oh my God, why am I blinking? Let's look it up. This I feel like I'm a traitor to myself. It's One Fine Day with Michelle Pfeiffer and let's look at IMDb. I would say we should watch it, but that's not a thing that we're doing anymore. And that's weird because like we did a lot together and we had a lot of plans together and it's weird being like, oh, Yeah, that's a couple thing.
And when Love Is Blind comes back, we'll have to at least text, right? Be like, did you watch episode 2?
I
Because
know I want to watch it with you, but I
that
feel
was
like
our
that's
thing.
not a. Yeah, that was.
But that, I mean, this is stuff that we're gonna learn from too.
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer and George. Why can't I think of George Clooney? Michelle Pfeiffer and George Clooney.
Oh, with the kids and stuff, right?
Yes.
There's kids involved. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
This.
Yeah,
Oh my God. So yeah, I. That's the brain I have. I have the. I just go in with an open heart
but,
and
but that's. I mean, I guess it's
very optimistic, and I
you
think
gotta
I'm always going to be like that.
just you gotta. I mean, be yourself. I mean, eventually, like maybe that's how I think. Like one day, something like just it's out of the blue. You're not expecting stuff, and that's when you meet someone, and it's just like, oh wow, like it clicks, right? So like I still have that brain too. I still think it.
Yeah.
Like just one day, maybe it's all gonna like you just need that perfect line, right? And it's just like
I gotta look this up.
yeah.
Attached to the outcome.
But I guess now going forward with this podcast, it kind of takes a kind of a quick turn back to going into the dating world, the battlefield as we call it.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up a quote.
I know because he's just. So I'll keep talking since she's busy. So one thing I liked from this podcast from the very beginning was you have two different perspectives of people. You have someone coming at that time you weren't even divorced, you were separated, and you have me that's been like divorced like for 4 years. So it's like two different ends of the spectrum and how you navigate in the dating world. But really, when we started this podcast, we had just been starting to date, but nothing was like we made it official, but we were dating, and so we felt it was a good way. And then everything happened, and we did the hard launch, and now a quick like And I know it sucks, but it's like I think this is also kind of a reality check to everyone else. Like just sometimes shit doesn't go the way you want to go, but how do you change the narrative? And so now I think you're going to see the different varieties of us going back into the dating world
Yeah.
if we want to do it and kind of and go from there and what we see, what we don't see, maybe what we want. Maybe we find like, hey, I just think this is what you need, or this is what I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling on too, but
Well, and
I
I
think it's
think,
important. I think this is almost like therapy for us.
yeah, I think it's when we get there, because I don't think, I know I'm not there yet because I'm still hurting from this. But when we get there, because I have gotten there with with other people I've dated, where I'm like, I can give them advice about things. I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking care anymore. Um, I think we can be a good sounding board for each other, and like, I think we know each other well enough to be like, okay, especially because we know each other really well. So like, we
Yeah.
know a relationship side of each other that other people don't have that perspective. So like, if you're doing something that I've seen you do before with me, I can be like, oh, you're doing it again, or you could do the same with me. You could be like, hey, Disney brain, stop it.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that's helpful. So you see me steering towards a cliff, tell me, because I do it all the time. Oh, welcome to being friends with me. It's a fucking nightmare because I make terrible decisions. So have fun on this side of things because, like, I don't listen to my friends, and you'll see me like about to drive off a cliff, and you'll be like, Christina, stop! Don't drive off that cliff. And I'm like, bye. Here I go. And then I'll come back and I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, dumbass, I told you not to do that. So welcome to this side of Christina. She's a
That's gonna be fun.
she's
Yeah.
a treat.
Buckle up, right?
And you've seen most sides of me. You're gonna see all the sides of me. So you thought I was a lot before. You're about to find out why everyone, including my best friends, are like, you're a lot. So you ready for that?
You're a lot at times for me. Not in the beginning, but at the end it was just a lot of like.
There was a lot of anxiety on my part too.
But
And
it was self-warranted.
yeah. And it was because I was missing something too. And so I don't want to put it all on you because you were missing something. I was missing something too. I just didn't want to admit it because I was so happy and we were so good together. I was like, well, it's gonna get better. Like he's gonna figure it out. Like it's gonna get better. I'm just gonna wait.
Unfortunately, you know how I knew it was the right decision?
Mm.
I woke up Thursday morning and I was so fucking happy.
Yeah,
But I felt bad at the same time.
I
I'm
was
like,
happy too though, but I also was in a delusional place, so it was a little bit different. So yeah, I mean, we had a really good conversation, and then we got together that night and had another really good conversation, and so I just feel like as long as we're staying open with each other, and as long as like I think we're gonna probably need to define boundaries
right.
because there's like some things I just don't want to hear about, especially like yet. Maybe at some point I'll be like, yeah, I don't care because like if you talk about your past, I don't care. People are like, doesn't that bother you? I'm like, no. I can't. I was before me. Like that's BC, before
Yeah.
Christina. So I don't care.
Yours is better. Mine's BM before Max. Not bowel movement, but whatever.
Yeah. So like I don't care about stuff that happened before me. Stuff that happens after me, we'll see how I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
Well,
how I'll do.
like I said, I'm.
Because I don't expect this to happen, but it's like my ego wants you to be like, fuck, I fucked up. What did I do? I made the biggest mistake of my life. And I'd be like, yeah, you did. Sorry. Mm. Just for that like
Yeah.
ego boost. But like, I don't want you to hurt. I don't
No,
want you
but
to feel like,
mine's not as extensive as your selection with like 76 likes and stuff. So I found someone and we just started talking and like I even said, it's like I just got a relationship. I just want to take it super slow and we're just talking. We're actually just talking about the podcast
mm-hmm.
and about
Again,
me.
thank you for
And she
listening.
actually talked about she's like this is I'm like she's like this is like a self screening before like if we were
Yeah.
to meet like she's going through the podcast and doing all this stuff and asking questions and but I don't mind it like I did it because like once someone's gonna listen to the podcast they're gonna be like who the fuck is this guy but she was actually like oh no it's good and like I said she's a therapist and so she loves our show like she's like you guys like that was funny and she always asked me about different stuff which I think she started with the last episode
Yeah.
and is going
What
backwards.
kind of stuff does she ask about?
She asked about just like why I decided to like call it quits, and then a couple comments I made in previous episodes, and just kind of like she just thought it was hilarious. She's like, you guys are so funny together, like the stuff you got, and so and that's awesome. And I'm just like, you know, I love hearing that because unfortunately, like after we do this, like I don't really listen to them because
No, you don't.
I'm doing them.
Yeah.
But then when the people listen to them, they're like, oh, that's funny, or this is good, or and it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's like a pre-screening,
Yeah.
get ready, but it's fun. It's almost like I'm just like talking about it and stuff. So I mean, we have a good connection, but like I said, like I told her, like I'm gonna take things super slow. I don't want and
Oh, that doesn't bother me.
yeah,
I thought it might. It's not bothering me, so that's fine. Maybe it's because you're taking it super slow. You're not like, I love her.
no, but it's good. It's and um we I kind of talked about it too. It's like one thing like I've talked about is I've never dated an older woman and she's older than me,
Oh,
and so
how much
maybe
older?
uh like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
So I was like, well, and she talked about it. I was like, maybe that's something you need,
That's interesting.
because they're
Yeah.
more independent and it's not like But I don't know. I
I'm
mean,
independent. No, I'm
I
not.
know, but I mean, it's like I said,
I'm independent, but I'm not with emotions. With
right.
emotions, I'm very like,
It's nice. I mean,
yeah.
we have a nice connection, but I like having to like feed off the podcast because it's
Yeah.
like this is me, like and everyone's like just you know the way you have relationship with like your ex-wife and now your ex-girlfriend, like that's very, and I never thought of that as like a green flag, but I guess it is.
The fact that I want to stay in your life and not punch you in the face is a big deal. Because like you broke my heart, so I should be like, fuck you. Like I'm done with you. And I'm not because we are our friendship is something like unique. And like
Yeah.
I don't want to like lose that, and this podcast is something, and I don't know, maybe without this podcast we might not be in the same place. I might have been easier to been like, I'm just done, I just need space from you. But I'm glad that we're not doing that, because like I said, this is our friendship is something unique and it's something special, and we are really funny together.
I
And
think it's also because when I talk about my marriage and my ex-wife, it's very unique because we have such a good relationship, and like our families get together, and it's not a thing. A lot of people they take, well, they don't like it, but it's like, and people always come up like, I love like the relationship you and your ex-wife have. It's like it's so healthy. Like, yeah, well, there's no, why should I be mad at her? Like we
right.
both knew it wasn't working, and so I think this is kind of an extension off of that. Again, we go through stuff and we break up, but it can become something good,
Yeah,
like a healthy friendship.
I agree. So we're breaking up, and Max is like, you bring everything back to Seinfeld. Everything
Right.
comes back to Seinfeld. You can be like Jerry and Elaine.
Yeah. Right, because in the beginning, before Seinfeld, Jerry and Elaine were a couple, and then but they become friends, so we could be Jerry and Elaine.
I have way better hair.
I know.
Yeah.
I would love to be Jerry Seinfeld,
Yeah.
comedic, comedic genius,
Yeah. I could be, because I'm that
or
funny.
Larry David. Yeah, but I think one of the things when I was thinking about the breakup was like, oh shit, this podcast is gonna be kaput. And I like this. Like this is fun.
I'm glad you do, because sometimes it felt like you didn't want to do it.
There were times I was just like I didn't want to do it. At times it's just like I don't know, I was tired and stuff.
Yeah.
But at times I enjoyed it. You know, maybe after a bottle of wine, but it's very enjoyable. I do, and I feel like it will be therapy for us. And I think people see it like holy shit. You can be like, you know, I want. I think what I want out of this episode is I want people to realize you can have a healthy breakup. It's
Yeah.
not going to be fun and exciting, no,
No, and
but
there's hurt involved no matter
it's going
what.
to hurt,
Yeah.
but you can have something afterwards if you feel like it's worth fighting for. If you don't want to see that person ever again, then you're not gonna do it.
Well, that means something. That like our friendship and
Yeah,
knowing each other is worth
and
fighting
plus you're going to
for.
be in Palatine more,
Stop.
so
So he thinks I'm drawn to this guy because I just want to be close to you. It's not about that. It's funny though. It's the
I'll reach out to him and be like, hey, dude, go,
no.
Palatine bros, I'll get a Palatine tat. So do I.
So yeah, it's very interesting that I'm drawn to someone, and this is again just talking to this dude, nothing more than talking.
That's good if you feel something
I
that
have
like,
a crush. I
yeah,
do. He was, and I'll tell you why. And like, just for and if hopefully we get more guys. You dying over there?
man, my butt hurts.
Too bad you don't have anyone to like give you massages anymore. Sucks for you. You gonna miss that?
Hey, I got to call my side pieces now. Bad joke. You can edit that out.
Yeah, I probably will. How about you say the things that you're gonna miss about me?
Yeah, I mean, I always said I'm gonna miss all the like you would rub me all the time. I'm gonna miss the physical connection. I am. I'm just gonna miss the when you come over and we just kind of chill out and stuff. I mean, I'm gonna miss that stuff.
Yeah.
I think when my therapist asked like, if because we were talking about like if you break up with her, what are you gonna miss? And it was all like physical, and there wasn't like I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna miss her smile. I mean that but you know what I'm saying, it was all physical stuff like rubbing and
Yeah.
sex and stuff, and that's kind of put it towards me like maybe I was just like I don't know. I overthink all the
You're
time,
not
but
gonna miss my smile? I have a 10 out of 10 smile.
I'm gonna miss the 18 memes you sent me because I love memes. I'm all about that.
I'm probably still gonna send. I might send you more now. Cause I send
Yeah,
a shit ton to my friends.
but it's also gonna be a learning process with
Yeah.
us too.
You're
So
not gonna
I'm
miss my smile? Let's rewind. Wait, what? What's wrong with you? That's a 10 out of 10. I'm grading myself. I know it. You want to read these comments? That smile though.
Yeah, from Larry in prison. I'll get out of
You're
just
not gonna
garage and I
miss
go
my
online.
smile. You're gonna miss my fucking smile. You're gonna miss my face. You're not, because you're gonna still see me, so that's why.
Ultimately, I guess what I wanted out of this podcast, like it was going to be difficult, it was going to be rough talking about different stuff. I just want people to see, like, hey, you can. There is such thing as a healthy breakup,
Yeah, I mean, and
and I think
hopefully that continues.
there's so many more episodes we can go after.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about our dating stuff. We can still bring on guests.
Oh no, because we didn't for the most of the. I mean, it's just the past couple episodes because we
Right.
literally just told everyone we were together, and then it's like, just kidding.
Yeah. Oops, sorry,
Yeah.
pulled the rug out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it's I mean, this is very therapeutic for us. I mean, it was, like I told you, I was not like I was looking forward to this day, but I also wasn't looking forward to it because it's gonna be a lot. But I think it's important, you know.
I think it's interesting because, like, when you were going to call me on Wednesday, you were like freaking out. You were very nervous. You told me that, like, you were not expecting what happened to happen. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just because we've always been good at communicating with each other, but we just had a very healthy, I almost wish we had recorded that. Like, we had a very healthy, um, very honest discussion with each other. And like I said before, I think that's what made it easier on me because I didn't leave with questions. Because I feel like that's always the hardest part of about a breakup is
Right.
you're like,
When I
why?
ripped my heart out, there was no closure.
Right, you're like,
I
but
just wanted
why?
to know why. Like, was it me? Was it
Right.
you? And later
Yeah.
on with therapy and lots of therapy telling me it was not you. She was just a little cuckoo. But but hey, that's what happens. And like I said, like sometimes I'm like, wait, like these relationships keep ending. Is it me? Maybe it is. Maybe I.
In this case, yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So I just, I just, I don't know. I wanted to keep our friendship, and I thought this podcast is a good thing, and I think it's a good platform to kind of talk about things, and because all these other dating podcasts, they're always just like dating, and they're like stories, but they're no one's like the reality, like this is what happens.
Right.
Like some of the guests we've had on and told the stories,
Right.
they're just like what, like that's crazy, and the more people we're gonna get on, and the more stuff, and
Yeah. And well, this is going to be a popular episode because our looking at analytics, our hard launch is by far the most popular episode that we've had, which is interesting because like it's so different from anything else we did. And then I'm pretty sure this one's because a lot of people are like, "You're gonna talk about it." I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna talk about it."
yeah.
And so I'm assuming
Let the demons out.
I feel like it's not as juicy as people were hoping.
No,
We're just like
I was using that term juicy. I thought it was gonna get
juicy.
juicy.
I thought it
Yeah.
might be juicier too. You want to
Yeah.
fight? I hate you. I'm just kidding. Because I don't hate you. And like, am I annoyed at some things? Yeah, like the whole like hinge thing. That was fucked up. I was pissed.
Yeah, that was shitty.
Yeah.
I admit it. That was shitty on my part.
Am
But I
I?
also like the reason people are like, well, why did you tell her? Because I felt it was important. I was like, I felt bad about it.
Yeah, I think you felt bad. I think you told me because you wanted to relieve that guilt too.
I what?
You felt guilt about it and you wanted to relieve that from yourself. Did I need to know that? Probably not. And so, I mean, it's fine because like we're just that's the friendship that we have is that we're very honest with each other, and you're gonna tell me things I probably don't need to hear. I'm probably gonna tell you things that you
So
don't need to hear.
if I don't tell you about the hinge thing, do you think you're still off the apps?
I might be. So,
Maybe I did.
so softball guys saying thanks for telling her because he is he's putting forth some effort here. It's interesting to
Good,
see.
give it a
Yeah.
shot. But be like,
I'm just laying.
Yeah.
I'm leaning back and letting it happen. I am not doing the Christina thing where I'm like, I'm gonna make him fall in love with me because like that's not my problem.
How funny if it was he if he's like 3 blocks.
He's
down.
not. I found out where he is. He's not. He's on
Oh.
the other side of town. So, yeah, but he is a nice dude. I don't know him. I don't know anything about him, and I think that's the thing that I'm trying to like recognize.
Didn't someone know him?
Yeah. So my friend Jared, the guy I dated the same day I met you, he I met him on Facebook dating, and so it shows you when you have mutual friends, which is the thing I like about it. So I sent it to Jared. I'm like, what's up with this dude? Like, tell me about him. He's like, he's a nice guy. He told me a few things. It's all good things. So he actually knows him. Like, it's not just like like he doesn't actually know him, because there's a few guys that's happened with when, like in the past when I've been on it, I'll ask our mutual friend, they're like, I don't actually know how I know that person. I'm like, that's scary. Why are they on your Facebook? But he actually knows him, and he's like, he's a good dude. And that's when he was like, how do you know I'm not catfishing? I don't know if I said that on here. He goes, because I told him, I'm like, there's some weird coincidences here, because my ex-boyfriend is 6'1", beard, tattoos, lives in Palatine. He's like, how do you know I'm not him catfishing you? And I'm like, we have a mutual friend, so that's how I know. But yeah, I don't know. It could be nothing. It could be like next week we talk about this. I'm like, who? You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm intrigued. And
Good.
the thing that he did differently that every other guy I was talking to didn't do was they're either really fucking boring, like, what are you doing this weekend? How was your Saturday? Meh. You know, like it's the same answer. I could copy and paste the answer to all of them. He opened up with, he said, two truths and a lie, go. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is fun. Okay. And I've heard that's a move. Like, I was talking to Susie about it. She's like, I've used that. I'm like, that's a good opener. I don't typically open. I let the guy do it because I don't chase, I attract. This is something I was saying to myself.
I
I'm
just
like,
do emojis because I don't know what to say.
"N-
People are like that's
don't
probably why.
don't do emojis.
Yeah,
No,
no.
you have to say words, and they have to be good words. You can't steal his bit though. So he goes, two truths and a lie, go. I'm like, shit, I gotta think about this. So I really like thought out a whole answer. And I think that's how he weeds out who has like,
Well, that's where my icebreaker.
your icebreaker is good.
It's
I
not like
wish I wish I had been able to save our conversation, our very first conversation in the app, because it was really good. Whatever you did there worked, because you got me for 5 months. So, um, man, you're like, that's a little longer than I wanted you. Like, you said, yeah,
as long as I got past 8 days, that was my
that
goal,
was
right?
all we needed. I get past 8 days in the wedding that you didn't go to, so that's fine.
It's not like I faked sick. I
You
was
didn't
actually
fake it. You
sick.
were really sick. I know. And then I drew a stick figure of you with me in the
Yeah,
dress, so
that
it's
was
fine.
funny. Yeah.
That was funny. You're like, I'm so glad you're in therapy. That's what you said when I sent it to you.
So how do we end this? Do we do like a closing argument, or do we just
A
kind of like?
closing argument. Why don't we end by like, let's make it positive and maybe we'll get a
All
laugh
right.
out of it. So, what is a favorite memory of me? It could be funny too. If it's funny, it's better. Like in our relation, well, everything's been in a relationship up until this point because
Favorite memory. You know, I actually enjoyed like not. So our first date we just had lunch, but our first real date at Gordon Ramsay's in Naperville, that was nice. That's
what about it was nice though.
it's everything from the start. I learned about the boomerang because I wasn't sure about the boomerang,
I taught my
um,
dad that today.
and so I enjoyed it. It was nice. I was happy. You know, it was good. It was good. You know, we had a nice
That's
night
sweet.
because we didn't really go out to eat a lot, and that's kind of on me.
Yeah.
So
Well, had a very low key relationship. Like we didn't do a lot because it was winter for most of it up until like recently. And so it was mostly just coming here to hang out and do the podcast or like watch Love is Blind or something
right.
like that. So it was a very low key, like we didn't do a lot. So I was honestly looking forward to that because I'm like, I'm a good time. Like you go to a concert with me, I am fun to party with. I am fun to go out with. And you didn't see that side of me. You can still see that. Like it's still fun to hang out with me. But yeah, we didn't do a lot other than
Yeah.
like, but it was like winter mode.
I mean that's one of my favorite things. I just like one of my favorite things was the night we would have like sushi, red wine, and watch Love Is Blind, and it was
Hmm.
like hilarious. You know, we loved it. We talked about it.
Make fun of people.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Chelsea.
That's she's actually a gem. So she's been on a lot of podcasts. She's actually like a treat. So um, this is really dumb. It still makes me laugh. When okay, the first one, this whole day was kind of fun. We just like ran errands one day, and we went to like Comcast, and we went to
Oh my
Best Buy.
God.
We go to Best Buy the woman at checkout thinks I'm your wife, and like we didn't correct her, and I'm like, I love that so much because I'm so delusional. I'm like, yeah, you know, but that wasn't even a big deal. But then we went, we come back here, and you're setting up your internet or whatever, and there's a QR code on the TV, and you have to get up to scan it, and you could be anywhere and scan that. You don't have to be close to it, but you felt like you had to get up to scan it, and it was the funniest, most adorable thing I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, he has to get up to scan it. Like you don't have, you can do that from your seat. It was just really cute. I remember that because it was really funny. That's not like the only good thing.
Yeah.
It was funny. I called you out on it for a while. I said that in that really cute note that I sent you, but the things I loved about you. I said I love that you have to get up and scan. You have to stand up to scan a QR code. I'm so sweet. I am. I'm thoughtful. Like,
You are. I mean, I'm like I told you, there's nothing you really did that made me want to, exit. It just
well, part of the thing when we were going, like before it happened, and I knew it was coming. Like I think you were surprised that I knew, but you gave me some clear signs that it was happening. Because I remember on Thursday leaving, not Thursday, it was Wednesday. I was leaving work, and my boss is like, "What are you up to tonight?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get dumped." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know this is coming. It's happening." And then it did, and it's like the first thing you said to me was like, "I don't know how to start this." I'm like, "Okay, here it
yeah.
comes." So, um, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
It's all right. There's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff,
it's a lot of stuff.
but I think you know we're gonna kind of see what happens, and
Yeah.
I think this podcast will help be able to kind of talk stuff out
The
through.
next one will be funny. The next one we
Yeah,
will be a little bit more
and
lighthearted
we'll
and
probably
fun.
have like some. You'll have stories
Oh,
because
for I already do have
yeah,
stories of like
I
if
think it's different with. I don't know. I don't. I mean, I know I went on Hinge, but I don't really get a whole lot. I
I'm
just
I've got some we can do that in the opening of the next one. We can read some of the crazy shit people send me.
yeah.
The just the openers that some people, not even openers, because I have to match with someone for them to message me on like Facebook dating, but like just whatever they comment on a picture or something. The crazy shit I hear, like because there's some doozies already, and there's some doozies from the past. So we'll go through that and go over some of the crazy stuff guys say. But like if you are looking, and I'm not trying to give you tips on, I don't care if I give you tips on dating. Maybe I am healed. Maybe this has been helpful. Um, I think opening with something other than "How was your day?" or "Hi." Like say words, say something interesting, start a conversation, ask questions. When people are just like one-sided, like "How was your day?" and then that's it. That's where the conversation dies. But when you do a whole like bit, like two truths and a lie, like our conversation was like going, like we had like it was like paragraph after paragraph, like back and forth, like a legitimate conversation. I was like, shit, like this is cool. Like I'm into this because
So
every
I
other
asked them like
conversation.
ketchup on a hot dog. Is that acceptable? Because good.
Well, there's only one answer for that. No,
Yeah.
I'm from the suburbs, so I do it. But yeah, something like that, or just some kind of something that starts a conversation.
That's interesting because I would like that was my worst thing. Is like I don't know like an opening to like I used to be
Yeah,
like wow
your
wow wow.
icebreaker is good.
I was like but I would always be like wow wow wow.
Yeah,
You sound and look amazing, but I think they hear that shit all the
they
time
do.
now.
That's not
Yeah.
I think you just complimented me. I'm pretty sure I have a screenshot of it. So, but I think you just complimented me. But I was like in a headspace, and I thought you were cute, so I clicked on you. But it's getting less cute. I'm just kidding.
And it was eventually gonna happen. So
No, I still think you do. And we're really, that's another bummer. We're so cute together. Like, we look good together. We're not even sitting by each other now. We are, and if, in case anyone's curious, I wanted him to have to look at me while we were having this conversation and not like be looking at a screen. So we are on two different computers, like facing each other. Yeah. So he had to like look me in the eye and have this conversation because, like, I don't know. I feel like you just have to, and you've been doing a good job of it. But I think it's easy to like run away from it and be like, I just don't want to be. It's just too hard to do. You gotta face up. because I'm really.
It was hard. It was hard, but I had to do it.
Yeah,
So
I made you. Because friend Christina's a little bit bossier than girlfriend Christina. Girlfriend Christina's like, go with the flow. I'm like, no, this is what we're doing.
and you're gonna hear a lot from me, and it's probably gonna be like, chill the f out.
Yeah.
So
And I was like, no,
yeah.
I will not. I do what I want. You're not my boyfriend. There's a shirt that I was gonna buy like after I almost said his name after Christmas guy that said like world's best ex girlfriend. I should get that now because I really am. He would not think so. He thinks I'm nuts. That's okay because I am with him. So I'm not yet. You'll see. I'll probably. Well, I have texted you some crazy shit. Not really.
Huh?
It'll get worse. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Buckle up. He's gonna be like, I'm blocking her.
I don't block people.
No.
So I think this is good. It's kind of a healing process. I mean, like I said, it's going to take time, but I think
Yeah.
it's important for people to hear this too. You know, it's like, hey,
This has helped me. This
sometimes
conversation
shit
here.
doesn't like. It's just sometimes it just doesn't work out for whatever reason. And
Yeah. I thought I was gonna be a lot more of a mess through this because in our original conversations I was very composed and I was very together. I've since gotten a little bit more feelings about it and felt more of the hurt and felt more of the anger and things like that. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry this whole episode and I didn't. So I'm proud of myself because I don't have feelings. I push them down. That's not healthy. Like, I don't like to cry in front of people. I hate that. I hate that shit. Like I don't. It's like I don't know. I'm tough. I like people to think I'm tough all the time, but I'm not. I'm a big ball mush. So
so how do we wrap this up in a? I don't know.
I don't know.
You know what? So it happened last week, but I think this would be a great time. This is when Casey Kasem would need
Oh
to
my
say,
God.
keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Because how perfect is
That
that?
is perfect.
Yeah. Casey Kasem is missed.
Answer to
Loved.
all of life's questions. It's that
What's this
answer.
episode named? The Breakup?
Yeah.
It's gotta be, right?
There's nothing else to name it.
Right?
That's what I was gonna name it. So
Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. People don't know though, like who the fuck's Casey Kasem?
Yeah.
You know?
but next week we'll be back with a normal episode. We're gonna do it on Thursday. I think I have guests.
This Thursday or are we taking
This Thursday.
This Thursday? Okay.
I think we gotta keep going because we're off by some days already anyway. So, are you in for this Thursday or do you have a date?
I don't have a date. I should be fine. Let me check my schedule.
Yeah, yeah, I might have a date. Out here in Palatine though, so it works out.
Yeah, you could go on a date and then you can come and do the podcast. That's perfect.
How does that make you? Like, I know we're trying to wrap this up, but how does that make you really cool with this? Like, you don't have any feelings at all about me talking to someone already.
I mean, not feelings. I'm happy for you. I mean,
Like, it doesn't bother you at all. You're just
no,
cool.
it doesn't. It really
Well,
doesn't.
that's saying something then. Yeah, that's definitely saying where you're at.
Yeah.
So,
I
okay.
just hope the best for you.
Well, thank you.
I mean, we'll see each other again.
I know.
Yeah.
I hope
But,
the best
you
for
know,
you too. Like, I do want you to find what you're
Maybe
looking
your
for.
dating app should just be Palatine. You can just start.
Stop. I was actually trying to find something closer to me. So this is inconvenient because I have to come out here.
Oh yeah. When we were chatting about with the podcast and stuff, she's like, yeah, and she even mentioned about she wanted to try to move closer to me.
I'm not doing that now.
Yeah. Well, of course not. Yeah.
I'm looking at Woodridge though, so it's actually still closer, but not much.
Well, good talk.
Good talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are we done? Gonna wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go to bed, and I gotta leave because I don't stay here anymore. But because you said, "Are you staying tonight?" I'm like, "No."
Well, I had to get up for work early.
I know,
sure.
but I wasn't staying either
Yeah.
way. Like, that's not a thing that we do anymore. So if anyone's wondering, yes, I am at his house, but I don't live here, and I am leaving after this is wrapped up. But thank you for listening. This is gonna be a long one. I'm probably
Maybe
not.
a two-parter.
I'm gonna release the whole thing. Oh, we'll see.
No, part one and part two.
I don't know. It's not juicy enough for that.
No, yeah, there's not
We'll
much.
we'll see. But
You want juicy? Should I say like, I'm no,
what are you gonna
no.
say?
I was gonna make up something like, you know, I was stupid. I was just gonna try to make up lines.
Something dramatic, like the
Yeah.
most dramatic. This is the most dramatic episode we've ever had. Now you say something dramatic. I'll put it in the teaser.
I can't take you seriously. It looks like you're talking to a hair dryer.
I love my new mic. It does look like a hair dryer. It's so cute though.
It's a
I thought
Dyson.
you were gonna say something else because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a little bit
Yeah.
more phallic. But
No, it wasn't. It wasn't juicy enough.
no, we're just too healthy apparently. But not really.
Go out. So
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Please rate us 5 stars, 5 stars every time, and follow us on social media. So we'll be back next week. Bye.